Dr. Peterson slash Brian Kilmeade, but mostly Dr. Peterson. Brian Kilmeade was just sitting there trying to follow along with all the wordiness. And he's thinking to himself, how does Katie understand what this guy and Donald Trump are talking about? Yeah, it's not just them. It's like sometimes crazy people. I also know what they're talking about. But anyway, and often other people, just regular people, I still usually know. Um, I'm very well read. So, um, yeah. And you'll get paid back by the people that you help, and but that never happens to me. I just, you guys eavesdrop on my phone, or I I don't actually have proof of that. I shouldn't say that. I should say, gosh, it happens like every day, where someone on TV says something that I said after I said it while I was alone in my house with nothing but my phone. And you guys have all made lots of money. Michelle Obama got her nutrition in schools mission. She got popular for that. Obama got his clean coal slash environmentalism, which he used to try to bankrupt America because he got the wrong kings of the East. So, um, like, and then Donald Trump, he pretty much went against everything that I said except for the vaccine, at which point, like, he sort of was starting to get a little bit better. And he listened to me a small amount on the foreign policy stuff, but not enough to not try to do some kind of giant real estate deal with the Israelis and the Saudi government. I don't know who Biden's trying to do business deals with. I'm assuming that'll come out with all the Republican investigations. But so far, I have not gotten paid. I have, um, you know, um, as far as I know, healed many a people. Even when I give massages, they feel better. I have the same pain patterns. And um, there are certain people that then when I shake their hand or hug them, I get a headache or something, or I moved into my house and my fingers hurt. I think there's some kind of um, I think there's some kind of a theory floating around amongst certain people that when the last martyr dies, that's me, and when like it won't go back up anymore, then that everybody's dead, and that's when the end of the world starts. But I don't think that that's what that means. Anyway, um, ideally, though, that would be nice. Dr. Peterson, um, I know you're mad that I insulted Freud and Nietzsche. He said God is dead, which I'm pretty sure he was talking about um, some kind of specific color of genitals. I wish I didn't know this because now I see gross, gross things even in the Sistine Chapel. I liked the world better before I knew all of this, so it's apparently necessary for me to know. People wanted me to know that uh, the last time I tried to go to church and I sort of got into it with the preachers, they don't like to listen to me. I try though, I do try. And oh yeah, no, Vivek Ramaswamy, he says he hasn't said anything that I haven't already said. Like maybe three things. I think he was talking about coming up with a vision, and I think he might actually have one, which is nice. I don't actually want to be the president. I would though if it was required of me to save my country, but I there's I'm perfectly content with just talking to you all and you steal my ideas and then go do it. It's just that I need money. I also need money to pay rent and eat food, which no one ever wants to give me. Even when I do things that normally other people get paid for, I'm held to a higher standard because I talk to God, and there's like all this, like, okay, anyway, people gave Jesus money. People just gave Jesus money. Okay, that didn't happen. That didn't happen to me when I had the same exact thing sort of like happen. Like the thing that Jesus was like wanting to happen with all his preaching happened to me. But and I have not been rewarded. There's only been more and more and more and more and more and more and more people trying to using their brain power to figure out how to advance themselves at the expense of other people, and then coming up with bullshit reasons why it's okay for them to do that, and they can do it and then get away with it and not have to feel guilty. So then the last time I tried to go to church, and I got into it with the preacher because he had people in his congregation clapping about the Supreme Court reversing Roe v. Wade. So I had a psychic chat with Amy Coney Barrett, and she was like, so just to be clear, you're pro-abortion, which no, I'm not. I'm pro the world is fucked up, and sometimes shit happens. It's better to do it with a doctor, and they're gonna do it anyway. That's I'm a fan of. They're gonna do it anyway. Man, I'm also a fan of, there's certain people, they don't want to be parents, you should just let them not be. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so many theories, so many theories. Does anyone have it figured out? No, you know what? I still have my river of living water. It flows from my belly most of the time, despite whatever other physical problems I may or may not be having. It still happens even if you're in pain, FYI. And oh yeah, okay. So the last time, so I got into it with him, right? And first he gets like all defensive, but like I was talking, like I was pretty animated, and so my breath hit his face, right? And suddenly he apologized. Not really for what he said, but he apologized for me not having a good time at church, which I accepted because he's not required to agree with me, although I wish he would. Anyway, God has much more patience than any of us have. So then there was this girl who was there, and she calls me up, and I'm like, okay, so I'm good with the preacher. I sent him an email apologizing. Also, we were friends. Like when I left, we were friends. Anyway, and then these two women want to have meetings outside of church, and they actually had the church security come and escort me out of the church when I went back, and they want to meet outside of church so we can rebuild trust, because I've offended them. She starts talking to me about this bad relationship, and I'm like, but I sent an email to the preacher. And then that's when the other one is all like, oh, I read the email, so she just didn't give it to him. Right. Okay. Anyway, so then she's looking at me and she's got sneaky eyes. I met up with them once, and she's like, no, we want to meet up several times so we can rebuild trust. She starts talking about her bad relationship, and she gives me the sneaky eye. How no one can something without God's people. She thought she had it all figured out. She's got the sneaky eye. They're going to steal my magic God germs and go give them to all the Christians, so many rocker boys stole them, and that's not fair because they've all been like Sataning and they've all been going to church. How is that fair? Well, I'm just, not the person to talk to about fair. Fair. I mean, I get dumped for not committing sexual immorality, and then I get acted superior by a bunch of women who did, but who are married. And hey, you know what? When you're a man, like all you need is a six-figure salary to feel like you're hot shit, but you should just know that like that wedding ring, that's like worth so much more than money for women. I am married and you're not. Anyway, I just in general don't care for people acting superior. If you're acting superior at all ever, it's because you haven't met the Lord. He would knock that right out of you real fucking fast if you had. Oh, I don't care how much of the Bible you've read, or how often you go to church, or what you show your kids, or how often you clean your house, or I don't care about any of that. I don't believe you. I can tell by less than 5 minutes of conversation whether or not you have had your day of being judged. And just so far, I'm the only one I know.